Hi guys, 18 Dapper here and welcome to this match preview for Saturday's big fixture down at the wrong end of League One. It's Doncaster Rovers versus Shrewsbury Town. Let's get the video started. So guys, welcome to this match preview, Doncaster Rovers versus Shrewsbury Town, towards the wrong end of the League One table this Saturday. Both teams in desperate need for the 3 points, so it's going to be a tough, cagey, bit of a shaky encounter I think. So let's get into this preview. If you're an existing subscriber, thank you for sticking with the channel. It's been a tough 12 months for us Rovers fans. It's starting to wear me down. If you've seen my Twitter recently, it's difficult. It's difficult to stay positive, and I'm very conscious that I don't want to negatively impact anybody's day who watches any of my videos. I want to be a positive impact on the world or on the community that watches me. And at the minute I'm just feeling like I may be being a negative influence or impacting people's days negatively. So I don't want to do that. So I'm kind of balancing whether I take a break from this at the minute. But I'll probably make my decision over the next couple of weeks. If I continue to struggle a little bit, I'll probably take a break. But we are where we are. I still want to create content for you guys, but I'm just trying to get a bit of positivity out of a tough situation that we're in at the minute. If you are new to the channel, we're not normally like this. It's normally slightly more positive, but I think as a Rovers fan, I don't expect to win every game. I just don't expect to not expect to win any game. I think that's the difficult thing at the minute. Everybody around the world at the minute are in the same boat. It's tough with all of the bills going up, gas, electric, petrol, you name it. Everything's going up, wages aren't. So day-to-day tolls are there for everybody. And normally for me, a big release was football. Going down to the ground, 90 minutes of enjoyment, but at the minute just not quite getting that enjoyment out. And like I say, I just don't want to negatively impact anybody's day, so that's why I'm currently balanced whether to take a break from vlogging and things. But yeah, that'll come over the next couple of games. We'll make a decision. But yeah, Doncaster versus Shrewsbury preview. If you are new to the channel, this is the format that we go through match previews. We'll look at the previous meetings between the two clubs, current form across all competitions. I choose a Doncaster Rovers player to look at and do a little profile on that individual. We'll look at the opponent, in this case Shrewsbury Town, a brief history and some honours to look at, and I give my opinion on the one to watch for your guys on Saturday. But you're the expert of your club, not me. So if I'm miles off it, please let me know in the comments down below. And then we round the video off with 3 predictions. We've got the predicted team lineup. Me and the family do a predictions league, so there's an update on that, and then the all important score prediction at the very end. So without further ado, let's get into the preview. Previous meetings between Doncaster and Shrewsbury, not too many, only 34 in our history. Rovers coming out on top on 10 occasions. We've shared the spoils on 9, but edging it with 15 wins are Shrewsbury, so not too positive coming into this one. And looking back at the last 5, Shrewsbury edged that as well, with 3 wins for them, 2 wins for the Rovers. So back in 2019, an away 2-0 defeat for the Rovers, and then in January 2020, a 2-0 win at home. And then we go back to February 2020, and that was a 1-0 away defeat. But the difficult one for me is December 2020, and this is kind of the point that I remember our downfall starting. We were a couple of points off top, a couple of games in hand. If we'd have won the game just before Christmas at home to Shrewsbury, who were struggling towards the wrong end of the table again last season, I believe, and we couldn't do it. We got beat 1-0, and then from there on in, we've really struggled to find any sort of form that's not been consistently getting beat or just struggling in games. So yeah, it's your fault, Shrewsbury. But then later on in that season, it was an away 2-0 win. So yeah, tight games between the two teams. I don't think Saturday's going to be any different. Current form though, may say that it's edging towards Shrewsbury, because we're coming into this one off of the back of 5 straight defeats. Shrewsbury on the other hand, 2 defeats, a draw and 2 wins. And it's been a tough start for Shrewsbury this season. They are struggling towards the wrong end of the table, but 2 wins, 2 draws and 2 defeats in their last 6 league outings. It's kind of steadied the ship a little bit, and it's given them a 6-point gap from us, but we are rock bottom of the table. So there's still not quite as much breathing space between Shrewsbury and the bottom 4 as they'd like, but it's massive for us, this game. Big 6-pointer. Shrewsbury play Wigan later tonight. I'm recording this on Wednesday, so a win there, that'll just give them a little bit more breathing space away from the bottom 4. They've got a game in hand over a number of teams around them as well. And also a bit of a confidence booster, and hopefully something that is taking their eye off of the game on Saturday through to the FA Cup third round with a glamour tie at Anfield against Liverpool. So I'm hoping that that's kind of taking their attention away from little old Donny Rovers. On to the Rovers. It's a run of 7 league games without a win, and it's just heaping more and more misery on us fans and the club. We find ourselves propping up League One once again, which, when you look at the table, it's just demoralising at that point. But as I mentioned, huge game for both teams. If anything's a 6-pointer, this is exactly a 6-pointer. If Shrewsbury lose tonight, or Wednesday night as you're watching it, the gap will be 6 points between us and them. So we've got a chance to reduce that to 3 points. But then if they beat us on Saturday and they've got beat tonight, it's then a 9-point gap. So we're starting to lose sight. If they get a win tonight and then a win against us, they are over the horizon. And it'd be tough to catch a 12-point gap up. But we will see what the result is later on. But although it was another defeat midweek, and I've gone through a little bit of a period where I'm struggling with being in front of camera. There was positives to be taken. A young squad. There was a lot of fight shown in the second half. I think the second half performance was decent, but it's still not good enough. But I don't want to be too critical because the lads are very inexperienced, and we shouldn't be expecting them to be able to come against a very good Oxford side and come away with a point or 3. But I think we showed glimmers and signs of what we could expect in the future. So dropping down to League 2, potentially some of those young lads will get more of an opportunity, more experience, and if we play like that over 90 minutes rather than 45, then I think we'll be okay. There's no two ways about it. January is massive for Donny Rovers. We need a manager that can get the best out of the group of players that he's got, but can also bring some serious recruits in very early in January to try and stop this rot and turn a struggling team around and save us from relegation. On to player profile, I've gone this week with Lirak Hassani, 19 years old. This is one of the players that I kind of touched upon earlier. Young, inexperienced, but he's been thrown in. Tuesday night he was at right wing back, but his natural position is centre midfield. He's been on loan to Gateshead and Matlock Town. He's only played 13 appearances, career appearances, and scored 1 goal. So that's kind of the level that we're at the minute. We're having to trust a young crop of players to get us out of some bother, and they've never been through it. So I think we need to taper our expectations towards that. Heard a lot of booing on Tuesday night from around the ground and chants, which I don't agree with. It's counterproductive from the fan base. I know everybody's got their own opinion and they're entitled to that. They pay the money, so I'm not going to say you shouldn't stop doing that or prevent people from doing it. I'm just putting my point across that I don't think it helps. Saying you're nothing special, we lose every week. Yeah, we do. The guys on the pitch probably know. Well, they do know that we lose every week, and they may be taking that on board, and it's impacting their performance negatively. But who am I to say anything about that? Moving on to the opponent, Shrewsbury Town, founded in 1886, currently managed by Steve Cotterill, and I think the footballing world love Steve Cotterill. He's just one of those guys, a very likeable character, and everybody was wishing him well during his fight for COVID, and he seems to come out the other side. So very happy to see him back on the touchline, and it seems Shrewsbury Town are as well, because their form's picked up a little bit since he's come back. Win rate of around 35% at Shrewsbury, so it's not too bad. Recent honours, League Two runners-up in 2014-15. There were also League Two runners-up a few seasons before that in 2011-12, and there were National League playoff winners in 2003-2004. So they've bounced up and down the leagues in recent years, but I think they've got enough to stay up this season. And for me, one player that will help Shrewsbury survive this season is Daniel Udo. He's been involved with 10 goals, scored 6, assisted 4, and it's just quick, powerful, very tricky, very skillful on the ball, and he just seems to pop up in the right places at the right time at the minute. So our defence, one of the worst defences in the league, will need to be on its game on Saturday and touch tight on Danny to prevent him from getting any sort of opportunity or space to create a chance or put a chance away. So for me, the one to watch for Shrewsbury on Saturday is Daniel Udo. On to my predicted team lineup. This is thanks to FanHub. If you've not downloaded the app yet, please go ahead and do so. Plenty of features on there for you to get your teeth stuck into. I do have a golden ticket. There's one use remaining on this, so you've got to be quick. It is 18D-RCW. So if you download the app, you'll be in a queue to get accepted into the app. But this lets you skip the queue. So 18D-RCW. One use remaining. Be quick. And on FanHub, I have gone with this team lineup. So it's a very similar system to what we played on Tuesday night. But I've made a couple of personnel changes, maybe one personnel change I think it is from Tuesday night. Stuck with Louis Jones in goal. I don't think he was at fault for any of the goals on Tuesday night, so is Dahlberg out of favour? He's not been picked for a couple of games now, so potentially they're looking at Louis Jones for the long-term future, so keep him in until he's making serious errors that are jeopardising points. Keep him in. For me, as I say, the goals were none were his fault. I'd go with a back three of Olowu. I believe his suspension is done and dusted now, so he'll be available once again. Tom Anderson and Ben Blythe. I think Ben Blythe had a decent game on Tuesday as well. I'll go with a right wing back of Kyle Noyle and a left wing back of Brandon Horton. Brandon scored 2 in 2, so you can't really drop him. And then a midfield two of Matt Smith and Ethan Galbraith, with 2 in front of Tommy Rowe and Aidan Barlow. Thought Aidan played well but kind of ran out of steam on Tuesday. And then leading the line, Joe Dodu. I don't think Thiago's cut out for this level of football. He's not showing enough for me. So Joe Dodu would get the shout. And Omar Bogle came on off of the bench and impacted the game positively. So I think he could do that once again on Saturday. Moving on to the Predictions League table. So if you're new to this, me and the family predict the scoreline for every single league game. And if we get the scoreline spot on, we get 3 points. If we get the result right but not the scoreline, we get 1 point. And if we get it completely wrong, we get no points. 3 out of 4 of us went for Rovers' defeats against Oxford. So the table has become a lot tighter, but there's no movement in terms of position. I'm still top with 16 points. Dad's in second on 13. Chris, he went for a win on Tuesday night. He was optimistic. I'm not sure why, but that leaves him on 11 points. And Max got the scoreline spot on with a 2-1 defeat. So that gives him 3 points, which I say completely tightens the league up and makes it very interesting coming into this busy Christmas period. If you want to keep up to date with this, follow my Twitter, links in the description down below. I post the family predictions before the game starts. And finally, that takes me on to my score predictions. So I've said earlier on that I don't want to negatively impact you guys watching. I appreciate the support that you've and the love that you sent me on Twitter. It does make a difference, and I will get back in touch with every single one of you. And it's so nice to know that support is there. So a big thank you for that. And because of that positivity, I'm going with a positive scoreline. I'm hoping Shrewsbury's attentions are on the FA Cup with that trip to Liverpool. I'm hoping that we've started to turn a corner. I'm hoping Gary McSheffrey's had a little bit more time with the players and worked on the system. And I just hope that the players are understanding that he trusts them and he just wants them to go out and play. I'm hoping they do go out and play with a bit of freedom, but I'm going with a tight, cagey 2-1 Rovers win. It's got to come at some point. Titan at the bottom of the table, new manager in, positive January. We're going to turn it around. Come on, it's got to happen. Or I hope it's going to happen. And that's where I'm going to leave this video. If you've enjoyed it, big thumbs up for us please. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.